used to stay here anyway. So, good evening, everybody. I think everybody knows me besides her. My name is Adriana. Nice to meet you. Welcome, everybody. I chose this topic today. Let your light shine. Let your light shine. Mainly, is come Christmas, is the holiday seasons. Everybody talks about Jesus being the light of the world and all the kind of festivities and all that. And it made me think about it for a minute. That light, what is that light that everybody talks about when Jesus was born? And what does that mean today in our lives, right? The world is dark, right? As speaking, a lot of stuff going on. What's happening? Politics, wars, famine. People going crazy, killing each other. And it made me think about it. What about that light? Aren't we supposed to be the light? Isn't that light that they talk about inside of us? Why are we not shining? Why? What's preventing us? What's keeping this light that is inside of us to shine, to reach out, to impact, to make a difference in a society, in the world? So I'm a big fan of the gospel. I'm a big fan of reading the Bible, reading the books, the Spiritism that talks about the gospel, and it kind of came upon me. I'm like, what if if everybody understands that the light that they talk about when they say, "Oh, Jesus is the light of the world." What if we understand that the light is already within us? That we don't need any outside validation or outside sources to understand that light burns inside of us. So that's why I chose this topic, because I think, it's important. We can talk about anything. So I chose to talk about that for change. Slides changes here. Hold on a second. So it's going to come to my first slide. I like the book of John when it talks about Jesus, right? Because if he is, the way, the life, and our model, the something that we look for in this earth as a path, as a teacher, or as a model for us to follow his steps. The book of John, the Apostle John, he talks about Jesus in a way that other books in the gospel, they don't present Jesus that way, because John understood what Jesus was, the light of the world. So, and it's interesting because on the chapter first of his book, he kind of links Jesus to the beginning of the creation. There is a book that I read. It's called, I don't know how to say it in English, so I'm going to say in Portuguese, A Caminho da Luz. It's from Chico Xavier and Emmanuel, that talks about the creation of the world, how Jesus was present when the earth was assembled. Everything that it was created, he was there. So John, on his gospel, he presents Jesus this way. So he says on verse 1, chapter 1, verses 4, he says, "In him was life, and the life was the light of all people." So I made some notes here, and my conclusion was the light did not remain distant. It entered the world, accepted the limits, and chose to shine from within human fragility. Life gives itself, and that giving has a cost. So just let's stop and think about it for a minute, right? So in a way, Jesus, when he says he was the light of the world, he was there in the beginning. When he says that, he says, it's almost like it's Jesus giving Jesus' humanity, understanding that the same power, the same light, the same divinity that Jesus presented to us 2020 something years ago, it is within us, right? Because it says light give itself. And it says, that reminds us that the light is sustained by itself. So if the light is sustained by itself, that means that it doesn't need anything from outside, right? So let's look at the sun, for instance. The sun is sustained from within, not by anything that it receives from outside. Its light, it's not effortful. It's a natural expression of inner life. So without the sun, right, there will be no life on earth, right? Because we need the plants need the sun, the animals need the sun, we need the sun. So the sun creates life, right? So that life that Jesus empowered in us generates the life within us. So it's almost like it's a ripple effect. The more light that you created, the more light you can give. So why this is so for me, that's so important for us to understand. Think about it for a second. In this dark world, what are we doing? How are we shining our light? How are we impacting someone's life? How we treat people on the streets? How we when we are driving? How are we driving with anger, with fear, with anxiety? What if we can exchange all of those, all of those emotions, right, for something lighter, right? What if we take a look at life from a different perspective? Because that's all it is. Because if the life is within us, what are we doing that we're not shining? What are we doing that we're not like doing our job, right? Like not letting our light shine. So I have another chapter of John here. John 8:12 says, once again, Jesus spoke to the people and said, I am the light of the world. Follow me, and you won't be walking in dark. You will have the light that gives life. Isn't that amazing? Think about it. Like us women, right? We have the blessing of carrying life inside of us, right? But we didn't create that life from ourselves. We need somebody else to help us to create that life, right? But that life is being generated inside of us. When you give birth, I know men don't have the pleasure of of giving birth, but the sensation of something that is inside of you, like creating the life, it's something amazing. And I'm sure that fathers feels the same way when the baby is born. They're like, oh my God, this is something that I helped, create. Like this whole human being is here because of, something that we did. But besides of that, like think about it. If we are able to generate a life within us, imagine the power that we have, the light that we have, what we are capable of doing with our bodies and our souls and our mind to reach out, to make a difference in the world. So because if you think about it, like, for all of the holiday seasons, whatever cliche that they use, oh, Jesus is the light of the world. Really? What does that mean to you? Oh, the baby Jesus is born. He's gonna bring peace and light. Really? How about you? What are you doing? How is that life? What does that mean to you? So we go all through all these cliches and all this saying and all this talking, but we never stop to think about it. That the same light that burns inside of you burns inside of me. All it takes is effort. All it takes is understanding, and all it takes is a step towards and say, okay, what I'm going to do about my spirituality, my understanding, and my conscience. How I'm going to be present on a situation when darkness comes upon me, and I'm going to remember, wait a minute, I am the light. I have the power. I have the knowledge. I have a clear conscience that what I'm going to do is going to impact somebody else's life. So continue here, and I have like 5 slides, so it's better like hurry up. Light clarify, exposes, and guides, which often requires personal effort. Just as a lamp cannot shine without consuming fuel, a person committed to doing a good work must accept what service that involves. What does that mean? So, talking about light, right? How are we going to impact people? Here at this wonderful spiritual center, we have many, many, many ways that we can help and we can shine a light. You know, like he can work in the kitchen, he can do whatever. So no work is so small that, you know, that you're not going to have like an impact. Like, for instance, like when you come in and you greet a person, smile. It's just a smile. You don't know what the person is coming to the door. You don't know how they're feeling. Maybe they're coming here, I don't know, for passes, for a lecture, or for a surgery, whatever that is. Just as you pass by someone, a smile can just change somebody else's life. A hug, or just a simple hello, you know? So we have many ways of shining our light through service, because one of the Jesus' great teachings, in my opinion, is he came here to teach us how to serve. Because on the Last Supper, on the last time that he has with his whole apostles, he was gathering all the 12 and talking about, okay, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna be crucified, and everybody was talking about, oh yeah, I'm more important. No, he was like washing everyone else's feet. He was like, here, you want to be big? Serve. You want to shine your light? Serve. You want to learn how to love one another? Serve. A service is not about being a slave. It's about truly understanding somebody else's needs. So moving on to the next slide. Continue on Matthew chapter 5, verses 14 and 15. It says, You are the light of the world, a city that is built on the top of the hill that cannot be hidden. And no one lights a lamp and put it under a clay pot. The light in the world is not passive or comfortable. So what does that mean? Being light doesn't mean that you are shining. That doesn't mean that you are on a spot. That doesn't mean that you have to be on a social media. That doesn't mean you have to be a big leader or you have to be, you know, the next big thing. No, it's not about ego. It's about inner peace. Is about conscious. Is about understanding. It's not about you. It's not about your ego. That's not the kind of a spotlight that most people like. Oh, I'm gonna put a video on Facebook of me helping somebody on the street, and then I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna get like 20,000 views. Oh yes, I'm doing a good deed. No, that's not the kind of light. That's not the kind of spotlight that we're talking about. This is not something passive. This is not something that makes us comfortable, because the light, the same way that illuminates path, it can also blind you. Because too much knowledge, too much power, too much understanding when it comes to the ego, instead of that light shine, it blinds you. It makes you work actually backwards. And when anything is not under you, the service for others, it serves to yourself, then it's not the kind of light that we're talking about here. So when Jesus says you are the light, and he says you don't become the light. The light is not a reward for perfection. It is a responsibility. Okay, so when we talk about that in Spiritism, like, you know, being a medium or being having some kind of like a talent that you can be used towards the greater good, it's a very big responsibility. Those don't come very light when it comes to who you are and the conscience and how you're gonna do the service to others. I lost my train of thought, but I'm going to continue reading here, so I'm going to regard myself. It says that what I like about this, because when he says that the light is not rewarded for perfection, is a responsibility, echoes back to John chapter 1, when I was talking about the beginning, when I was talking about the light of the world, and how he connected Jesus to being the light, the creator, the one who gives us power through and knowledge through his teaching. Because that's what illuminates us. Because it says a lamp placed correctly illuminates the whole house. So when you have a lamp, right? And let's say this room is dark, that is completely shut out, and there is no light here, and you have like your cell phone light, right? You have to place it strategically, so in the case that you want to lighten the whole room, it has to be placed on the right spot, right? It cannot be under, it cannot be on the right, but you are carrying the light, so you are like illuminating the path, right? So sometimes we have to learn how to protect our light, right? And how we do that? We set boundaries, right? So if you place the light right here, you're not going to move it around. You're going to like, okay, this is the place that it's going to be at, so it's going to be shine for everybody, not only for myself. So those are boundaries. Those are protection. Those are like strategic points that we can point our light so we can be more efficient. Renewal sustains it. Humility keeps it in line. And a lamp neglected burns out, and a lamp tinted becomes reliable. What does that mean? That means that for us to renew our light, we have to stay connected. We have to stay connected to the source, right? What is that source? How we stay connected? What am I talking about here? The mission of the light is to illuminate paths, sweep away shadows, and save lives. Mission that inevitably unfolds at the cost of the few that sustain it. This is a verse that is from a spiritual book. It's from Chico Xavier and Emmanuel. It says, the book says, it's Fonte Viva, and the chapter says, sois luz, means like you are the light. What he's saying is, our mission is to illuminate paths, is to sweep away shadows, save lives. How we do that? Just last week, I don't know who was here, we were talking about like depression and all of those things that's happening in society, how depression, it's affecting greatly, like especially like young people, all of those mental health. We have like 2 mental health therapists here, so they know exactly what I'm talking about. So how we use our lights to impact someone that is depressed, that has anxiety or some kind of other disorders or panic attacks. How are we using our lives, our gifts, our spirituality to impact the lives of these people? What are we doing as workers, as a society, to bring those people to the light, to help and understand there is a way out, there is hope out there? What are we doing in case of that? I'm going to continue here. A city on a hill cannot be hidden, and a lamp is meant to be seen. Light that avoids visibility fails the purpose, but visibility is not self-promoting. It's a service made public. This aligns with our early text. Light clarifies paths, saves lives, and that can be in hiding. So back, I think I'm going to repeat myself a little bit again, but like I said, that visibility, it's not about your ego. It's not about you being a big median and doing big things or giving great speeches or whatever the people out there think that is doing great things. It's about service. It's about serving one another. It's about looking at the person in front of you and actually seeing them, seeing like what do you need, what can I do to help you? It's like understanding a person's need. I was talking to a friend last week and about service, right? Because we went on a boat trip, and at the end of the day, we went to, this guy has a big boat, and when it comes to the end, everybody tries to help. Oh, let me help you do this and do that, like gather stuff around the boat and do X, Y, and Z. Because of course you're doing that because somebody is being nice to you. You're gonna on a nice boat, and you're serving them, right? You're like helping them out, right? And then I asked the guy, and I said, listen, you did this because this person is important to you, right? You're trying to do a good service just to be helpful and grateful for the opportunity of being there and having a great time, right? And the person answered, yes. I'm like, what about the homeless person that we passed on the sign? And when I said, okay, let's help out, let's see what they need, let's see if they want to, like, maybe a glass of water or food. I know that a lot of people don't like to give homeless people money for many reasons, and I understand that, I respect that. But what if we take a look at the homeless person? You do? Yeah. Yeah, but my point is, give them. You don't like it, or you give money? You do, okay. I do too. But some people say, oh, because they're going to do drugs, whatever. It's not about what the person is going to do. Yes, if you think about it, is irresponsible? Maybe. You don't know what they need. You don't know what they want. You don't know why are they there, right? Exactly. So, and I say to that person, I'm like, what if you look at the homeless person and look at him and say, what can I do for you? How can I serve you? The same way, the same happiness and the same enthusiasm as the guy who owns a boat and he took us on a boat ride. Because this person is important and this one is not. Does that make any sense to you? For me, it doesn't. Because if we are all equals and if we are all the same, so why are we making that separation? Why are we not letting our light shine? So that's the kind of spotlight that I'm talking about. It's not about what the big gesture that people do and so they can say, oh, I did X, Y, and Z. No, it's what you do when you're on your own, and you do it because it's right. Because you're conscious saying, okay, this is the right thing to do. That's how we let our light shine. So, continue here my presentation. It says, Jesus used a lamp as an image intentionally. Lamp burns oil, not fuel, not light. And this connects it directly to you to where? If you shine, you will spend something. Meaning, when we talk about spend, we're talking about energy, effort, right? So, when you're trying to help someone, right? And I read something about this last week. Sometimes, you want to help a person, and you spend all this time and effort saying, you should do this, or you should do that, or you go and give them a ride to work, or you buy them groceries, or you help in getting them a job, whatever it is that the person, and sometimes, the person is like, I didn't even ask for you to help me. And then you're like, okay, so why are you helping me? So sometimes you waste a lot of energy and time and effort trying to help a person without asking them, not asking them, saying, okay, what do you need? Maybe it's not getting yourself, maybe it's not to get you a job. Maybe it's not to get your groceries done for you. Maybe it's not doing a laundry. What do you need? What is the person, is the person ready to accept the kind of help and energy and effort that you're doing? Because if we do that, we're just going to burn our fuel. There's going to come to a point, he's going to like, you know what? I'm not even going to bother with this person because they don't even deserve my help anyway. So that's the time and the effort, because we are looking from a different perspective. It's not what the person needs or wants. It's how can we help? How can we reach out to understand the person's need? So, continue here. I took this from a book called Renew Attitudes. It's from Divaldo Franco and Joanna De Angelis. And it says, this is why it's necessary for you to light and to light, for you to light and to light shine. Sorry. Sorry. This is why it's necessary for you to light. To light, yes, I'm sorry, I can't read that. Drawing attention to who you are, to what you do, and to what resources you possess in the name of the one who guides you and who is your guide and model. Your light is of a spiritual origin, and it needs to be preserved with the holy oils of love and peace. Expand your capacity to serve, granting yourself more valuable resources to the growth, so that you may never become arrogant or distracted with the fulfillment of the serious responsibility that concerns you. In order to properly carry out the task that entrusted to you by Jesus, let your light shine. So this is what I've been talking about for the past 15 minutes. It's about service. It's about fulfillment. It's about not getting distracted by ego, by jealousy, by whatever it is that, when you say, I'm in a spotlight, I'm a big celebrity, I'm a big YouTuber, I have 5 million followers, and I have one of my reels on my videos went viral. It's not about that. It's about protecting your peace. It's about love. It's about reaching out with responsibility, because like the Apostle Paul liked to say in Corinthians 13, if you can do anything, you can speak great, you can give great speeches, you can do all of those things. If you're not doing out of love, it means nothing. It's like noise, right? So the key to its balancing is refueling to rest, prayer, reflection, gratitude, and healthy relationships, so the light doesn't burn out. What this reflection invites us to ask is, where am I being called to illuminate the path, and how am I carrying the fuel that allows me to keep on shining, right? So how are we connecting? How are we refueling? How are we keeping that light that burns inside of us, right? Because it's self-sustained, right? It creates itself. What are we doing? How are we refueling that? Could be through prayer, meditation. Tuesdays here we have great meditation. I'm a big prayer person. People they like to pray different ways. They like to read books. I like to go to the beach, and meditate and walk and just listen to my songs. That's how I refuel. I like to stay alone in peace and read my books and listen to, some inspiration quotes. Everybody has their own way to stay connected. As long as you stay connected to the source, as long as you stay connected, not seeking anything from outside, but within you, refueling what's already inside of you, you will be able to understand, to be conscious of what you have is in here. That all the answers that you're seeking is already inside of you. All you have to do is reach out, understand that the life that burns through you burns to everybody else. And if we gather, like all of us, we can make a big impact and a huge difference in this world. I'm just going to read this here. Renew is what allows the light to continue to shine. It comes to the rest, silence, prayer, meditation, and honest self-reflection and gratitude. Okay, so I'm going to finish because we already have like 5 minutes left. And I like to finish just a little different than that I did it before. If we can dim the light just a little bit, I just wanted to read something here and then I'm going to close. Okay. So, so I've been talking about this light for the past 45 minutes. So I think my intention here today is to just ask you to look at this light, Jesus' teachings, through a different perspective, to understand that the same light, the same way that he came 2,000 and something years ago and have those followers, that to start something, to give what we have today, the same way that happened before, it's happening now. And we can reach out to that light inside of us because it was given to us. It was never separated from us. So I'm going to ask everybody to take a deep breath. If you want to close your eyes, if you don't want to, just like sit there and breathe slowly for a minute. And just imagine that you are in a really dark place and there is a light, there's a tiny light in the darkness. So if you close your eyes and if you want to think about it for a minute and notice that the darkness, that is confusion, fatigue, fears. But that darkness cannot overcome the little light that's still burning, but the light is getting bigger, 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 and all of a sudden, the light overcome all of the shadows, right? So if we imagine that light is steady within us, it's not force, it's not hurry. It's actually coming towards us. It's illuminating us. It's slowly taking over our whole hearts. So with every breath that we take, every time that we take a breath in and the breath out, the light is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So sit there for a minute and just enjoy this light. Enjoy the warmth. Enjoy all of the sensation that's giving you peace, excitement, stillness, awareness, whatever it is that you want to call, whatever it is that you want to call it. And just remember, it's not dwelling on the outside that we're gonna find the answer or seek validation for what we need. It's already inside us. It was already given to us because we were born within. So with that, I just want you to rest for a minute, take a deep breath in, and just let the light shine on you. Thank you.